MiG-31 was a long-range interceptor optimized for airspace defense. It emphasized speed, radar coverage, and endurance. Production numbers reflect specialization rather than scale. The aircraft remains tied to strategic defense requirements. The Mirage 2000 continued France's delta-wing fighter lineage. Designed for interception and multi-role tasks, it saw steady export adoption. Production totals reflect niche but sustained demand. The Saab Draken was a Swedish interceptor designed for national air defense. Its delta wing supported high-speed interception and short runway operations. Production focused on domestic needs with limited export. The aircraft reflects defensive doctrine rather than mass deployment. The Eurofighter Typhoon is a modern multi-role fighter developed by several European nations. Production is incremental and shared. High cost and scope limit numbers. The aircraft prioritizes performance over quantity. The F-14 was a long-range naval interceptor developed for fleet defense. It featured advanced radar and variable sweep wings. Production served limited operators. Complexity constrained output. The aircraft reflects mission-specific design priorities. The A-10 was designed specifically for close air support. Built around survivability and low-speed control, it filled a unique battlefield role. Production was limited to defined operational needs. Its numbers reflect specialization rather than replacement cycles. The Tornado was a multinational strike aircraft developed for low-level penetration missions. Production reflected joint procurement rather than export demand. The aircraft served several European air forces. Its numbers mirror collaborative defense planning. The Su-27 family introduced a large, long-range air superiority platform. Designed for endurance and maneuverability, it became the basis for many later variants. Production totals vary by classification. Its influence lies more in evolution than initial volume. The MiG-25 was designed as a high-speed, high-altitude interceptor. Built to counter perceived strategic threats, it prioritized raw performance. Production supported air defense roles. Limited versatility restricted export. The aircraft represents intelligence-driven design priorities of the Cold War. The F-8 Crusader was a carrier-based fighter focused on air-to-air combat. It emphasized speed and gun armament during early missile uncertainty. Production supported naval aviation requirements. The aircraft remained in service for many years. Its numbers reflect focused operational demand rather than export scale. The Mirage 3 was a delta-wing interceptor designed for high-speed performance. It became one of France's most successful military exports. Production included multiple variants and long service periods. The aircraft was valued for simplicity and reliability. Widespread adoption reflected France's independent aerospace strategy. Its numbers demonstrate sustained international demand. The FA-18 Hornet was developed as a multi-role aircraft capable of operating from aircraft carriers. It combined air-to-air and strike missions within a single design. Production replaced several older aircraft types. Export adoption supported additional manufacturing. The Hornet emphasized operational flexibility over specialization. Its production totals reflect consolidation rather than expansion. The F-15 was designed as an air superiority fighter with emphasis on speed, climb rate, and radar performance. It later evolved into multi-role variants. Production supported both domestic and allied air forces. High cost limited mass output, but performance margins sustained demand. The aircraft remained in continuous service through upgrades. Its production numbers reflect longevity rather than volume manufacturing. The A-7 Corsair II was a carrier-based attack aircraft optimized for precision strike missions. It emphasized range, payload, and avionics over speed. The aircraft served with naval and air forces for decades. Production reflected steady demand for a dedicated attack platform. Its design focused on mission effectiveness rather than versatility. The A-7 demonstrated the value of specialized strike aircraft. The MiG-29 was developed as a frontline air superiority fighter to counter modern Western aircraft. Entering service in the 1980s, it emphasized maneuverability and short-range combat capability. Production supported domestic and export needs. Although advanced, it was built in smaller numbers than earlier MiGs. The aircraft reflects a shift toward quality and performance rather than mass production. The Su-7 and its variable geometry successor, the Su-17, were designed primarily for tactical strike missions. Built for speed and durability at low altitude, they operated across the Soviet bloc and Allied states. Production covered numerous variants and upgrades. The aircraft reflected doctrinal emphasis on battlefield attack roles. High production numbers resulted from standardized requirements rather than export popularity. The Hawker Hunter was a British jet fighter introduced in the early 1950s. It offered balanced handling and solid performance for its time. The aircraft served as both a fighter and later a ground attack platform. It was widely exported and license-produced. Many operators retained it long after initial retirement elsewhere. Production numbers reflect steady international demand during the early jet age. The Chengdu J-7 was China's long-running development of the MiG-21. Production extended for decades with numerous variants for domestic use and export. The aircraft supported air defense modernization efforts across multiple regions. Its longevity reflected industrial continuity rather than technological leadership. Large production totals resulted from sustained manufacturing cycles. The J-7 represents the evolution of a proven design adapted to national requirements. The F-104 Starfighter emphasized extreme speed and climb rate for interception missions. Its design prioritized performance over versatility. Widely adopted by NATO members, it was produced under license across Europe and Asia. Operational demands were high, but procurement was driven by alliance requirements. Large production numbers resulted from multinational programs rather than extended service life. The Starfighter remains a distinctive example of Cold War interceptor design. The F-5 family was designed as a lightweight and low-cost jet fighter. Intended primarily for export, it required minimal infrastructure and maintenance. Production occurred in the United States and under license in multiple countries. The aircraft served in air defense and training roles worldwide. Its long production run reflected affordability rather than cutting-edge performance. The F-5 became one of the most widely distributed jet fighters of the Cold War. The A-4 Skyhawk was a compact, carrier-based attack aircraft designed for simplicity and efficiency. Despite its small size, it could carry a significant weapons load. The aircraft operated from aircraft carriers and land bases worldwide. Its low operating costs and reliability supported long production runs. The Skyhawk remained in service for decades across multiple air forces. High production reflected demand for a straightforward and effective strike platform. The Shenyang J-6 was China's licensed production version of the MiG-19. It became the backbone of Chinese jet fighter forces for many years. Production continued longer than the original Soviet model, reflecting domestic requirements and industrial capacity. The aircraft supported air defense and training roles. Large production totals resulted from sustained manufacturing rather than export volume. The J-6 played a key role in establishing China's independent military aviation industry. The F-16 was designed as a lightweight, highly maneuverable multi-role fighter. Entering service in the late 1970s, it prioritized pilot visibility, agility, and operational efficiency. Continuous upgrades allowed it to remain relevant for decades. Large production numbers resulted from extensive export programs and multinational manufacturing. The aircraft balanced performance and affordability. Its success reshaped modern fighter procurement by emphasizing adaptability over specialized roles. The MiG-19 was the Soviet Union's first mass-produced supersonic fighter. Entering service in the mid-1950s, it emphasized speed and climb performance for interception missions. Its limited range was offset by rapid response capability. Large-scale license production significantly increased total numbers. The aircraft served as a bridge between early jet fighters and more advanced supersonic designs. Its production volume reflected urgency in air defense during the early Cold War period. The MiG-23 introduced variable sweep wings to Soviet fighter design, allowing improved performance across different flight conditions. It was intended to counter newer Western aircraft while operating from shorter runways. Production supported both domestic use and export customers. The aircraft reflected changing tactical priorities and increased technical complexity. While more demanding to operate than earlier MiGs, it represented a step toward more flexible fighter concepts. Its numbers reflect sustained Cold War procurement rather than long service life. The F-4 Phantom II was a twin-engine, multi-role jet designed for interception, strike, and reconnaissance missions. It served with air forces and navies across multiple continents. The aircraft emphasized speed, payload, and versatility rather than maneuverability. Long service life and export success drove its high production numbers. The Phantom's adaptability allowed it to replace several specialized aircraft types. It became one of the defining combat jets of the Cold War era. The F-86 Sabre was the primary early jet fighter of the United States and its allies. Featuring swept wings and advanced handling characteristics, it entered service at the beginning of the Cold War. The aircraft saw extensive combat use during the Korean War. Large-scale production occurred both in the United States and under license abroad. Its widespread deployment reflected NATO standardization efforts. The F-86 played a central role in shaping Western jet fighter doctrine and early air combat tactics. The MiG-17 was developed as an improved evolution of the MiG-15, featuring refined aerodynamics and better handling at higher speeds. Although subsonic, it proved effective in combat due to its maneuverability and reliable cannon armament. The aircraft served extensively during the Cold War and was license-produced in several countries. It remained operational in some air forces long after newer designs appeared. High production numbers reflected its role as a transitional fighter between early and mature jet aircraft generations. The MiG-21 is the most produced supersonic jet aircraft in history. Designed as a lightweight interceptor, it emphasized speed, climb rate, and ease of manufacture. Entering service in the late 1950s, it was widely exported and license-produced across Asia, Eastern Europe, and Africa. The aircraft participated in numerous regional conflicts over several decades. Its long production run reflected low operating costs and adaptable design. The MiG-21 became a standard reference point for second-generation jet fighters worldwide. The MiG-15 was the first Soviet jet fighter produced on a truly massive scale. Introduced in the late 1940s, it featured swept wings, heavy cannon armament, and strong high-altitude performance. The aircraft entered combat during the Korean War, where it directly challenged Western jet designs. Its relatively simple structure allowed rapid production across multiple factories and licensed facilities. Large numbers were built to support Cold War air defense doctrine. The MiG-15 established the industrial foundation for Soviet jet aviation and remained influential well into the 1950s.